Hi, welcome to Gary's Hobby Studio. In this video I'm going to give you a hopefully quick review of the Lenovo P53. I've had it for a couple of weeks now, got it finally set up for work, and I can show you some of the hardware and a major flaw that they've had since the P52. I'm hoping that eventually they'll go back to full docking stations, but that's a whole other thing. So let's get started. Okay, so here is the P53 right here. It's the same as the P51, which is what I'm recording this on right now. So if we flip the screen open, pull it back a little bit, and as you can see right here, it has a 15.6 inch screen. This here has 16 gigs of RAM. It also has a NVIDIA T2000 graphics card, which, by the way, is way faster than the one that's in my P51. This is a really nice laptop. I definitely recommend putting at least 32 gigs of RAM in it, especially if you're going to do any kind of video editing or anything like that. But my company paid for 16, so it's no big deal. It has an NVMe drive, which I don't think... Hang on one second. Which, the nice thing I like about this one, as opposed to... I mean, the P51's really nice. I've liked it. They've actually improved on this a lot. Oop. Left one screw bolted down. Alright. So, and as you can see right here, here's where your extra memory would go. This is one of these two. I don't know which, because I didn't look into it. It actually has cellular in here. I could actually put a chip in it, and this thing could work off of cellular, which... I don't know why my company doesn't do that, but I'm not pushing it, trust me. Because I spec'd this machine out, and I wanted to get the most performance within the budget that my company has for machines. So, I want to say, because of the size, this one's probably... Yeah, this one, after flipping the lid, this one's the cellular modem, and this one is the wireless, which I believe this is that Wi-Fi 6. I don't have a device, or I would test out that speed, which would be really nice. But this is the Wi-Fi 6. That's the cellular. Here's where your memory would go. Here is nice because in the P51, you have to buy these special little holders to hold your NVMe drives. They've actually eliminated that with this, which is nice, because this way here you just slap one in and you got room for two. You can also put in, I want to say it would go this way, a 2.5 inch drive. So you can actually have 3 hard drives in this, just like in the P51. I believe the P52 also has the same capability as well. So that's pretty much the hardware there. Here's your internal battery, which to do things you have to pull that out, which... I don't like that. I like the old ones where you just pop them, but I know they have to move forward and everything, and I'm not trying to be one of those people that's like, oh, I don't like change. No, I like change as long as it makes sense. That doesn't make sense at all. I don't know why they just couldn't put a battery that just clicks in, and that's it. So let me get this put back together. That I believe is a metal plate, which is unusual. They usually use plastic. It could be plastic, but it sounded more metal to me. Alright, so on the bottom here, here's your network port, 2 USB 3 whatever / Thunderbolt ports, your power connector, exhaust fans. On this side, if you can see, you have an HDMI, 2 VGA, your memory card port. That little slot there, I don't think it's active on this model, but that's where like your smart card would go, or if your company or would require that. And then on this side, here's the USB 3 and headphone jack, and right there is where you would put the SIM card in to use that cellular modem, which, like I said, I didn't even see that when I spec'd it out. And that's pretty much the connectors and everything. The keyboard is still the same keyboard that's been in these, with the probably starting with the P50s. They're not bad keyboards. I really like it. I've used these a lot, especially with because I think the W540 that I have still has that keyboard. Supposed to have Dolby Atmos sound. To me, it might help the bass and everything, but you got to realize these are still laptop speakers. They are the most crappiest things that they put in there. Plus, to make them thinner, to make them sound, you know, there's a trade-off. It's kind of like the speakers in your flat panel TVs, because there's nothing to have that sound reverberate against, because the cases are so thin. That's why it requires the wall. I mean, they sound okay, you know, that's a given. Fingerprint reader. I like how they finally went back. I think starting with the P50, yeah, starting with the P51, probably even the P50. I didn't have the P50. The W540, they put like all the buttons on the trackpad. That was that was a bad mistake too. Don't know why they had to do it, but they did. Thank God they decided to go back to the regular mouse pad buttons and separate everything. That was the greatest thing they could ever do. Like I said, again, performance-wise, I ran the couple of different tests. I did the scene bench tests, did really well on that. Definitely higher than this one, the P51. When I ran the Blackmagic design tests on it, which I wish I would have it, you know, I mean, I could probably get this fired up. But anyways, it did a lot better than mine. I mean, it definitely it can handle like 8K video. It would probably take a while to process and everything, because, you know, that's a huge format that's not even like standard. There's not even accelerators for it or anything of the kind. The hardware is just, it was kind of like whenever DVDs first come out. The software players couldn't play it. You had to add all kinds of cards to accelerate it, get new graphics cards, because I remember back when the first DVD drives came out, they actually had hardware accelerator cards come with those models. Then later, between the processor enhancements and graphics card enhancements and software enhancements, you know, to take advantage of all the new hardware and CPUs and GPUs, then you didn't need those built-in cards, because then DVDs would just play. Blu-ray players, same thing. Even 4K really isn't bad to play on laptops, especially the laptops of like the last 5-6 years, maybe even slightly before that. But 8K video, I don't know. I don't have 8K video to even process on this. If I could find some clips, I'll try it out, maybe do another video on it. So let me get logged in here, because this is my work machine. If I can type my password in correctly. And this thing has an NVMe drive too, and any other time it loads fast. Today, well, probably because it's trying to connect to the domain and it's not available because I'm not in the office. Because usually I turn this thing on. I mean, it's at the desktop once I log in like that. Okay. Couldn't connect to all drives. Yeah. Thanks a lot. And yes, I put a custom thing on there from Sir Astro. He uploaded some free wallpapers and stuff like that on his site, sirastro.com. If any of you guys like Marvel's Crisis Protocol, go there. The dude is a fantastic painter. Oh my god. I follow him whenever I paint my stuff because I totally suck at picking colors. And we'll just close that. We'll check for that later. Alright, so hit here. What the heck am I looking for? Don't you hate when that happens? Alright. Oh, it's Blackmagic Design, that's right. Here it is, the raw speed test. I will try to center this. And let's see if I can zoom in on that just a little bit. Oop, a little bit too much. Alright. Now, the performance may be a little bit different because it is running on battery. It's not on power. And I'll probably have to zoom in on this when it's done. But as you can see, the second one's the CUDA from the CPU. I mean, it's practically almost all the way. And again, this is even running on battery to do this test too, which is totally amazing to me. I've liked Lenovo computers. I think they're better. I'm a lot harder on my toys. And, I mean, I've had other laptops. I've had, I can't even think of the one brand that I bought from Sam's Club, like back when I was married to my ex-wife. It was okay. It was decent. My mom got the exact same thing, different processor. They were both AMDs. I think hers was a dual. Mine was a triple or quad, something like that. I can't remember because, like I said, I can't remember the name of it. It was a really weird name. Mine still worked. Hers just died. I don't know why. So she got a different one. But yeah, as you can see here, like the raw 12.1 test, I mean, with the CUDA core, the GPU, it can handle 4320p 50. That's impressive, because mine, I think, stops at around, like this one here might stop at around, I only think it comes down to about here where it's 3456p 50. But it's like all these, except for when you get to the raw 5:1 and then the raw 3:1 is where you start seeing gaps and it slows down. But still, this thing is a lot faster than my old one, the one I'm using right now to record this video. And like I said, this thing's fantastic. It can handle, you know, 6K, 8K. I mean, there's numbers here. Let's see if I can. Whoop, that's zooming out. Let's zoom in. Hopefully it will. But yeah, I mean, here's the numbers right here. 207, that's HD, that's CPU. The CUDA cores of the GPU is 449. Then the 4K is 51, 112, 6K is 2043, 8K is 1228. I mean, that's not, like I said, that's not bad. So if you're looking to do video editing or anything, the P53 is totally awesome. Just the machine itself. I love this machine. Like I said, I love Lenovo machines ever since I started using them, since I started working for my company. I think they're really good machines. They're designed well. They perform great. Like I said, the machine I had from Sam's Club, whatever this generic brand was, and this is, like I said, again, back when I was with my ex-wife, it was okay. It worked well, but I knew I was stressing it because the fans were running constantly all the time, and that's because I was doing heavy-duty stuff. I'm not saying these fans don't run on this, because they do, but to be honest with you, you know, this thing performs, and performs well. They always have. The 540 did, the 51 did, this one's going to. I had an HP that I bought from Best Buy, and I'll be honest with you, again, it was okay. I knew I was stressing it. You know, I'd like to try. I would like to try a Lenovo. I don't care if it's ThinkPad, IdeaPad, whatever. It has one of the AMD Ryzen processors in it, because I would really like to see that one's performance compared to this. This is an Intel NVIDIA version. I like to see the AMD side too, and I know they have them in some. I don't think they have them in the business class workstation type, but I know they do. I have seen them, and I just like to. I'm curious at how it would be. Believe me, if I can get a hold of one, I would. So, I don't know if I have any videos on this or anything. Yeah, I do actually, because I did do a couple of videos on this.
Over the Ubiquiti Mini, or correction, Ubiquiti Flex Mini 5-port gigabit switch.
Yeah, that was when I was doing
the small compact switch
review for that.
I'm going to go over some of its features, show you how it adopts and what all happens. So let's go ahead and get right to it.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't record that video on this one. I actually recorded that video on the P51. But yeah, it works well. It's kind of like anything else. You have to find what works for you, what feels right to you. It's kind of like a car. You just don't go buy the first car that you hop into. I've tried a lot of the others. My wife has a Dell. I think she really likes Dell. Dell isn't bad. Like I said, I've got 3 servers in my rack that are Dell. I love Dell servers. I think that they perform really well. All 3 of them were used. They're still running fine. For my workstation type machines, I definitely want to go with Lenovo laptops. Desktops, if I was going to build an actual, like, one that would sit on the floor, I would probably custom build that one myself, just because I know that then I can get the stuff that I want put in it. But yeah, it's a really nice screen. I mean, I have VirtualBox on it. I have all kinds of software, you know, stuff I play around with, and all kinds of crap like that for work. But as you can see, the machine part's fine. Oh, and by the way, there's an actual, like, for people that are paranoid, let's see if I can get that into the shot. Yes. Okay, here's the webcam right here. There is a shutter now on it, so that if you slide it over to where the orange dot isn't shown here, then that means the webcam will work. If you slide this over, it totally disconnects it, so this way if somebody does have hacked into your machine, they can't, you know, turn the webcam on without, you know, and be able to record you or anything of the kind, which is really nice. I know they've been incorporating that on some of their other models, and this is I didn't even know. Again, I only look at the hardware specs. I don't look at, like, the bonus little features like this. And like I said, I didn't even see in the specs where the cellular card was coming with this, or I would have been like, ooh, interesting. But it's a nice machine as far as the machine goes. Now, here's where Lenovo has made their mistakes since the P52. And it's all in this wonderful little box here. Okay, because I called in support on it because my one biggest thing that I do is I update drivers and I update firmware. So I updated the firmware on this particular, not this one, but the one that came with it when the person that orders our hardware ordered this stuff for us. This is the docking station. Here's the front. You have a very fast USB port here. You have a super speed USB-C here, headphone jack there. Okay, here's where it connects to the computer, which that little port that I showed you on the side, you can connect it there, or you can connect it to the Thunderbolt ports in the back. Power, DVI, HDMI, 2 USB. These are like 10G, like 10 gigs, so, but I don't really have devices that connect that fast, so gigabit network port. Here is where your keyboard and mouse would go. You could probably plug in like regular devices into it too, which would work. Okay, so these are a piece of crap. Okay, and I'll tell you why. The P52 that we got for a coworker of mine, she had nothing but problems with it. Problem with it was that, to me, I don't think the hardware is up to snuff in that one. This one's for the P53. The hardware is a little bit better than the P52 one, but in their book, because it shows you like the matrix layout of how many monitors you can connect, because you can actually connect 3 monitors to this thing, which is fine. I totally get it, but I use the laptop screen and 2 external monitors. One's 4K and one's 1080p, in that order as I'm looking at it. 4K is on my left, 1080p is on my right. They're both like, well, I think that the 1080p is 28 inches and the 4K is 32. They were hand-me-down monitors. People had them, they've upgraded them, or whatever the case, because especially in our graphics arts department, so that's fine. I don't have a problem with hand-me-downs. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, I've got 3 used servers that God only knows how many hours have been on those things, and they're still running. Okay, so the way it states in their book is that you can have a single 4K monitor running at 60 hertz. If you have 2 4K monitors, they have to run at 30 hertz a piece, which is fine. I totally get that. But in their matrix, it says you can run that at 60 hertz, 4K, and a 1080p at 60 hertz. Well, and that's why this is the one that they sent me to replace it, because I was having problems. The monitors would blink off all by themselves. I mean, I'm working, they just decide to just go to sleep for no reason, even though I've been working on stuff. The monitors will just blank out. Sometimes when I lock the computer and come back and unlock it, they don't wake back up at all. And I've had to restart the machine at first, then I decided to do that. So I was looking on forums and I gave up, because between people calling in for assistance and me trying to fix my own stuff, that's why I call Lenovo, because usually I don't call them unless I absolutely have to. Well, when I called in, they sent me this because I was having those issues. I switched the frequency from 60 hertz to 30, because that was the only thing I did, and that was while this one was connected. And it was a little more stable. They still go off, but not as bad. But the good thing is if I lock the computer, or it puts the monitors to sleep. If I happen to be away because of the way our power policy is set in Active Directory, at least they'll wake back up, and I don't have to unplug the box and plug it back in, and I don't have to restart the machine. If worse comes to worse, I have to do that. So that's why, like I said, it's a slight improvement over the P52 one, because the P52 model was USB 3. It wasn't USB-C like this one is. Hers would not, the monitors would not wake up. I mean, I've updated drivers, and the thing was, and I tried to see if I could do it on my 1080, set it to 30 hertz. No, it only gives you I think it's 50 or 51 hertz. So you had 60 and 51 in its selection, but with the 4K, you had the 60 and 30. So yeah, it's an improvement, but for hers, and we had to get her a Lenovo X1 Yoga, which she still has weird issues, but not as bad as before. And I think it's just the room she's in is jinxed, but that's just me. But again, these things are just crap. They are the biggest pieces of crap that I've ever seen. Instead of having a drop-in style docking station like what the P51 and the W540 have, large dock, drop it in. You know, even the X1 Yogas at first, I think up to, it was either Gen 3 or Gen 4. Not sure. It's one of those. It was either the 3 or the 4. They actually came out with an actual drop-down docking station lock-in for it, because I think people were complaining about it. People probably don't complain about this because either A, they're just using the laptop, or and that's it, and they don't really get the docking station, because, and that's fine if that's the way they work. I do too much at my job, and I have to have too many different things. Like, I'll have my email open here, so whenever I get a help desk ticket here that says, hey, create an account, I have a script that runs here in PowerShell to create the AD accounts, you know, on my main laptop screen. And then I have the data file that it feeds off of to create said account by putting in their name, first name, last name, where they're located, you know, like what office they're located in, their employee number if they're an existing employee, or if it's a new employee, I leave it blank, and it just leaves it blank, and whatever other fields that are in the thing. But those are the main ones that I remember. And that there actually works to, you know, create the account. And this way here, I have because I can look at the help desk ticket here, I can have the data file here, work on that, then I run the script here, and, you know, and it's great. I'd have to switch back and forth between too many screens, or, you know, like alt tabbing and stuff, just to get it to show up here, and it's just worthless, and it really is. So, as far as the laptop goes, fantastic. As far as the docking station goes, it is crap. I want Lenovo. I hope Lenovo sees this. I really do. This is the worst idea that you guys have come up with to date. I mean, as far as the touchpad goes, I can easily enable in Windows to, you know, deactivate the touchpad, and I think it's just the touchpad, the trackpad, when a mouse is connected, because I use an external mouse anyways when I'm at work. I don't use a touchpad at all because I have a full-size keyboard here, so I have a mouse over here, and I'm totally fine with it. Please go back to a regular docking station for this. Do not keep using these. These do not work. They are barely functional. They drive me insane. I'm sure there's other people out there that have this exact same problem. Either that, or maybe it's my monitors are just incompatible. I don't know. Because Mike, he has one ViewSonic, and the other one I think is an HP, where I have both ViewSonic, and I don't know if it's a ViewSonic monitor compatibility, what the case is. It's just totally weird that, like I said, I've had actually three, because I had a 510 when I first started at the company. Then I went to the 540 and the P51, and then now the P53. The drop-in docking stations work fine. They work fine for me. I love them. I can't stand these. I cannot stand these. We have never had good luck, at least in corporate, because like I said, between me and this one on the 53, the one person, you know, her with the P52, these just suck. They really suck. Okay? I'm not saying don't get the P53. Computer, excellent. Oh my God, it is fantastic. Love it to death. This I hate with a passion. Okay? If I had a hammer and time, I would go around and smash every one of these frickin' docking stations. And the person in the head that goes, hey, this is the greatest idea. No, it's not. I would rather pay extra, you know, like $200 extra, okay, or, you know, whatever the regular full-size docking stations cost, to have that as opposed to this. So that's my review of the P53. Machine, thumbs up. This, thumbs down. totally sucks. And as I always like to say, have a good day.